Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Bakakodash, Brakatham. Peace and blessings to Ophelet, 144, and the rest of 1/3, and all my apostles, elders, and bishops, and all my Malachium, Shalom, Shalom. All my apostles, elders, and bishops, Malachi, Specklebird, Akwafim, Shalom. Man, we gotta get away from this devil. We gotta get up out of here. Isaiah 65:1. I am sought of them that ask not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold, behold, unto a nation that was not called by my name. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts, a people that provoked me to anger continually to my face. This is Israel, the 12 tribes. You know what I'm saying? Where we at? That sacrifices in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick, which remain among the graves and lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh and broth of abomination. And broth of abomination, things is in their vessels. That's right. Which say, stand by thy side. Come not near to me, for I am holier than you. There are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day. Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord is going to defend us, but not you wicked, not you 2/3. Your iniquities and your iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, saith the Lord, which have burnt incense upon the mountains, and blasphemed me upon the hills. Therefore will I measure their former work into their bosom. See, the Lord letting you know, He's going to break you down, you 2/3, you wicked ones. Former work into their bosom. Thus saith the Lord, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. So will I do for my servant. What? So will I do for my servants' sakes. Who's the servants? Ophelet, 144, and the rest of the 1/3. Okay? So will I do for my servants' sakes. Say it again. So will I do for my servants' sakes. That's right. That I may not destroy them all. That's right. Say it again. Thus saith the Lord, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. That's right. So will I do for my servants' sakes. That's right, Salakia. That I may not destroy them all. That's right. And see, this is what happens to you 2/3. Because you're always being stupid. You dig? Here we go. Always being stupid. Where we at?
Breaking news coming out of Mississippi. Key information connected to the case of Nolan Wells has now broken online and is adding to ongoing speculation. In an exclusive finding from People magazine, it has now been revealed by a Jackson County official that Horn Island has not seen any official drownings in the past 6 years, according to the coroner's office. In the People magazine exclusive, it goes on to read, despite the current and deep water around Horn Island, echoed in the concerns of some locals, data obtained by People indicates that recent drownings there are rare. The Jackson County coroner said that there have been no reported drowning deaths at Horn Island in the last 6 years. An official tells People in response to an open records request. For some, this is extremely interesting given that many have suspected foul play was involved, and that the sheriff's department originally suspected Wells' death to be an accidental drowning, which would anger many since an official autopsy was not completed when that statement was made. So if there has been no drownings on Horn Island in 6 years, what are the chances that Nolan just so happened to experience this unfortunate and, from the gathered information, rare incident? In that same exclusive, it will go on to share that drownings have occurred on nearby islands, but again, nothing on Horn Island where Wells was last seen alive. Now, at the top of this case, many have shared their theories of Nolan possibly drowning, with some accusing a potential part of the island being known for recurrence. But viewing where many were positioned in the water that day, it's been hard for some to believe that Wells could drown in water that's waist deep. Now, one user on TikTok, and who is also a retired officer, would be on Horn Island on July 4th and confirmed seeing Wells that day, and we're going to reveal in a post that Wells not only seemed okay, but everyone was in waist-deep water. Pictures from his post would also go on to confirm this. Now, a user would first go on to ask, can you confirm if there's phone signal on the island? In which the user would go on to say, maybe one bar on the south side of the island. You can maybe get text messages. We walked the entire island on the 4th. Also a retired officer, would be on Horn Island on July 4th and confirmed seeing Wells that day, and we're going to reveal in a post that Wells not only seemed okay, but everyone was in waist-deep water. Pictures from his post would also go on to confirm this. Now, a user would first go on to ask, can you confirm if there's phone signal on the island? In which the user would go on to say, maybe one bar on the south side of the island. You can maybe get text messages. We walked the entire island on the 4th. And yes, we saw Nolan earlier that day, but before these pics were taken. He was with a group of white girls who appeared to be around his age. The only reason I remember is my wife said he was one of the former Ocean Springs football players. He did not seem to be impaired by any means. This was also 12 or 1-ish. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Nobody brings their phones off the boats. I did because I want to take some pics. Most people are in waist-deep water. It's a tragedy either way, but I hope no foul play was involved. But if it was, he needs justice. So much misinformation. Leaving your phone on the boat is common practice at the island. No docks there, so you have to wade to the beach. Every boater, when time permitted, washes their boat and flushes it, especially when leaving salt water, as soon as they get home. His Snapchat would not be used if he didn't have his phone. His mother said he would not leave his friends. We saw with our own eyes he was not with his friends. He was clearly interested in one of the girls. Nobody knows the whole story, but hopefully they will get to the bottom of it. It was also a very family-friendly environment on the beach. Numerous families with small children. If something nefarious happened, it wasn't on the beach. Boats were parked too deep on the island. It would be easy to lose sight of someone behind one of the boats, and the water drops off pretty quickly in some spots. I'm retired law enforcement and worked federal and state investigations. Nothing is off the table. He had 2 autopsies, and the toxicology takes a little while. I have faith in the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Everyone sees Mississippi as this backwoods racist place. It couldn't be further from the truth, at least here on the coast. Either way, I feel there is a lot of misinformation being spread, even blatant lies by racist people, white and black. Unfortunately, this is the way of the world. I hope this sheds some light on that day on the island, sending prayers to his family and friends who are affected by his tragic loss. Now, over on Instagram, on Thursday, Gil Hughley would further push against claims that Wells drowned, as he would go on to share a video of a woman taking the stance against those who continue saying that Wells lost his life in an accidental drowning. For his caption, Hughley would go on to say all this.
He was on an island that was very populated with a lot of people. Let's just talk fundamentals of basic common sense, okay? If he drowned, at what point did he drown? And did no one see him drowning? And if he did drown, how and why did he drown? Do we think that he was just like out there and he fell in the water himself and just suddenly couldn't swim and drowned? Do we think he just went for a swim and the rip current took over? I'm asking. Because if you're so convinced that he drowned, how did he drown? I get that drownings happen. How did he drown alone, where no one saw him drowning? Because no one's reported him drowning, or seeing him drown, or even seeing him struggle. And I want to say he has to be a good swimmer because they did mention a pool party, too, that he attended. So I don't think that he would, go on a boat and go to a pool party if he couldn't swim.
Now, that same woman later on in her video will go on to predict that Mississippi officials will attempt to get the outcome they want in this case, with a potential uproar to soon follow. Now, despite many pushing back against drowning theories, there are some, however, who still believe that him drowning is very plausible.
I can tell you for a fact, Nolan is not the first person to pass away, or even the first person to pass away on the 4th of July. Been several people who have passed away from accidental drowning off of Horn and Ship Island. The majority of the time, it's from people having some liquid courage, jumping off a boat into the water and it being too shallow, or falling off and hitting their head, becoming unconscious. One person, I think it was a 17-year-old, fell off, hit his head, became unconscious, and his friends were right there. Tried to find him, couldn't find him. Didn't find him, I don't think, till the next day. Similar to Nolan. Drowning is silent.
King Vacation.
Yeah.
Original remake.
They're full of, the only one makes sense is the first Edomite chick. That's it. Come on, damn it, shit. Let's get on my goddamn man, motherfucker. I'm telling you, man, I can't stand this dumb. Always doing dumb shit. Real, man.
Similar to Nolan. Drowning is silent.
Now, as far as the latest, yesterday was Mark Wells' 19th birthday, in which his friends and family will participate in a prayer vigil for the young man who would end up going missing and later be found dead on July 4th. Let's talk about him on the comments below. Upon hearing that Horn Island has not had any reported drownings in 6 years, does this add to speculation that foul play was involved? Reporting live from Miami Club 5 Plus News, I'm John Opp.
All right. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High Yah. And contrary to what the white boy said, stuff like this happen at Horn Island all the time. The coroner seems to disagree. And that was Hype News and sharing their findings from a People article that the coroner has said no one has drowned on Horn Island in 6 years. And so, once again, that leads everybody to believe that Nolan Wells didn't drown. They keep talking about the current, and they kept talking about the current. The current is pretty strong and the water drops off. Well, yeah. Why is everybody else not drowning? Like, everybody goes out there once a year, and we know that, but probably, during the weekends, white people like to go on deserted islands and drink and have fun. So why have there been no other drownings except Nolan's? And you heard the law enforcement officer say Nolan looked fine. He wasn't intoxicated. He was with some girls. Everybody was in shallow water. So how did he drown? And just like the white lady said, nobody saw him drown. Nobody saw him circle. How did he drown? Why did he drown? And so this is more fuel to the fire, which leads more questions. How did Nolan drown? And like the man actually said, well, if something happened to him, it didn't happen to him on the island, which a lot of people feel that, he, didn't even make it to the island. Or he was still alive on the way back from the island, and that's that. But nevertheless, this is more information which causes people to have more suspicions about the white boys that he was with. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for liking, watching, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And as always, I pray you have peace and blessings. And as the scripture says, all things that are hidden shall.
See, this is what happens when you hang around them damn devils. Them devils are retarded, psychotic, stupid, the whole nine. If you want to hang around them, you want to hang around Old Jed, Werewolf, Bear Claw, Barnaby Jones. You want to hang around Dexter the Lexter. There. You know what I'm saying? Bigfoot. There. Artillery Lips. You want to hang around them? Oh, yeah. They're cool with us. Warren Warbat. Paul Bunyan. Yeah. Paul Barron, all them. Yeah. Grizzly Adams. Yeah, you love them. And this is what happens to you. Until the next one. Ball or ball, ball, ball.